Of course it still does that after all of that work. Why wouldn't it? But what's up, everybody? My name is Elliott, and remember, you can always try to blame somebody else for your problems, but sometimes those problems were there all along anyway. Today, we are finally working on the Volvo. I know, I'm excited about it too. So let's get to it. Well, to get everybody up to speed, the last time I had the Volvo here in the studio, it was actually over there on the lift because I was doing the PCV replacement on it and, more importantly, replacing the CEM, which is like the major computer on this car. I sent the computer off to a company called XeMODeX and kind of explained the issues, my out-of-control wipers, the various other electronic faults within the dash, and they sent it back to me. $600 later, good to go. Turns out though, it wasn't good to go. I plugged it in and it sizzled. There was actually smoke coming out of the driver's footwell, which is a major problem, but it didn't end there. Afterwards, I was able to still start the car, but all electronic function had been completely lost. Needless to say, it was a massive, massive disappointment after spending that kind of money, doing that kind of work, and having the car be literally immobilized. I was forced to put it on skates just so I can get it around in the warehouse. But the bright side is, the story doesn't end there. Because it had only been about a week since I sent my original computer off to the time when it sizzled, I was able to send the sizzled computer back to XeMODeX to be replaced by their warranty replacement program. However, when I got it back, it came with no explanation of what happened. It was just a new unit, which is great, but I had my doubts. Luckily, somebody from XeMODeX had also seen my videos and reached out to me. After a long exchange of back and forth about what I have and haven't done to the car, I asked them at the end, what ended up happening with my old computer? Like, I am really worried about plugging this new one in and having it be just as crispy as the last one. To which he replied, let me go look. And then he sent me this email. In it, he showed pictures of the old unit. And at first you could see there were some singe spots, but when he split the board apart, you could see how fried it was underneath. The technician that's been helping me actually replied, do not plug this new one in, it will do it again, which is a crazy, helpful, but also wild email to receive from the only experts in the Volvo computer game. But I did what he said. I did not plug the computer in, and through XeMODEX's help, he was actually able to point us through different pieces of the wiring harness to check, some wires to cut, and my uncle and I did just that. We went through with an ohm meter, checked everything, checked voltage, pretty much went through every single piece of wire that you can get to on this car and cut a few of them, which is pretty bizarre, but that's what XeMODeX wanted us to do, to really ensure that it wouldn't happen again. But now that all the snipping and investigating is done, today is the actual day where we're gonna apply battery power to it again, put the key in, and hope for no fire. And hey, if all goes well, maybe this thing will start right up and we're gonna have all electronics again and all will be happy with the world. But I won't know until we go plug it in. So let's get this going. All right, moment of truth, but I definitely need something before we even think about applying power to this car. Normally, I keep the fire extinguisher as close as possible to the Maserati. But in this case, I think the Volvo calls for this a lot more than the Maserati really ever has, at least in my possession. It's about time. So here, I've got a light under here so you can actually see it if it actually smokes. My uncle's back here ready to put the power to it any second now. Hang on, let me get in here. Let me put my feet where the fire comes out. Carry on. All right, so far it didn't freak out. Here we go. I'm going to just turn the ignition on. Oh, the gauges are back. That's amazing. Of course, it's mad about the airbag. Let's see what else. Oh, I'm gonna try to start it. Still no smoke. Okay, here we go. I'm silent because I'm skeptical. I haven't heard this thing run in a long time. So far, my feet aren't on fire, so that's good. This seems to be working. Tailgate open, anti-skid service required, park assist service required, time for regular service. So all of my warning lights are still there, but at this point, I really don't care. What I'm glad about is that I'm not actively on fire, and the fact that the gauges work at all. So I think the next logical step here is to get it off of these skates, get it out on the road, and see if we can give this thing a shakedown. Really excited to drive this thing right now. Now, my uncle is also going to join us because of the immense amount of work he did, and it's because if you experience a terrible breakdown, it's more fun to do it with somebody else. Good luck cramming in.
I got it.
So the seat is in an unfavorable position because we had an electronic issue with that seat as well. An electronic issue in this car? That's crazy. Who would have thought? Also, if it makes you feel any better, according to the car, the airbags aren't going to work anyway.
No, that's good. I would like to have the seatbelt somewhat fastened. There we go.
There you go. We're in business now.
Yeah.
It's pretty smooth.
Seems pretty smooth.
This is great. Warmed up. I'm just making sure this thing doesn't self-immolate.
I'm so overjoyed that it's moving on its own.
Yes, that's how I feel. It's like, that's what this started out as. I was like, this thing smokes. And then it just didn't run again for a really long time. It feels like the power's there.
Well,
I also forgot you were in an uncomfortable position, so I guess we can't take the longest drive ever.
No, it's all right.
My wife, who already doesn't like this car, that passenger seat just gave her a reason to like it even less.
What's there not to like?
You've got me. I don't get it. Okay, well, we can at least look behind us here and see if we get a puff.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Of course it still does that after all of that work. Why wouldn't it? But I guess it doesn't matter. This is still, as I said when this first happened, I was like, I will take it smoking like that and driving every day of the week compared to what it's been. I almost wish I hadn't tested that.
No.
Darn it. It's getting better though.
Oh yeah.
No, seriously, because it would have done it in third as well, and it didn't. So, it might just need to be.
Maybe it is.
Got to circulate around in there. I got to get the sludge from wherever it's lodged into that new box.
Oh, that's it. Yes, for sure.
I'm so not worried about it. Like I said, I'm so thrilled that we're able to be doing this right now.
Yes.
That all of the other problems that this car has and had are just so minor in comparison.
Feels pretty good.
It honestly is smoking less each time I'm doing it.
Really?
So it needs to just, we're good. This is good news.
Sure.
So the computer works.
The computer works.
The PCV system is doing its thing, but most importantly, the car's not on skates in the warehouse. That's kind of the big news. This is good. I'm very pleased with these results.
Yes. Volvo
should cut these wires from the factory. So that's my suggestion. Don't put them in. They're a problem. Well, would you look at that? It ran and drove, which is a huge, huge improvement from where we were, well, even a week ago. Oh, which reminds me, I could finally do something I've been meaning to do, well, for about a month now. Yes, I was holding off on doing this until I knew this car was going to be around to stay. And, well, up until just now, wasn't sure if that was going to be the case. So I think it's time to welcome it to the family officially. Now it's one of the fleet. So now what, you might ask yourself? The car runs, it's off of the little dollies. What more is there to do? Well, the answer is actually a ton of stuff. There's still like the all-wheel drive system to address, the paint, the wipers are still missing. We've got a whole host of things still left to do with this Volvo V70R, but the good news is it's here to stay. And I can't thank the folks at XeMODeX enough for making that possible. What was originally not their issue in the first place, they took ownership of and walked me through step by step what to look for so that it wouldn't happen again. That is unparalleled customer service, and if you have any sort of electronic issues with your Volvo or several other European brands, check them out. They were instrumental in this car being on the ground and driving today. Be on the lookout for more Volvo videos coming in the future, but I will be also attending Car Week in Monterey next week, so there's going to be a lot of coverage of that. Anyway, that's going to do it for this episode. Be sure to follow me on Instagram. It's a great place where I share behind the scenes stuff and little snippets of my life. Like me on Facebook. Join my Facebook group. It's a fun place to share memes, and I'm almost always in there interacting in the comments. And other than that, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe on this video. It greatly helps my YouTube performance, and I will see you and this Volvo next time. My pants blend in to the paint or the seat. This is like a green screen effect. It looks like I'm just sitting here in a t-shirt. No?